Welcome to our channel. From history to rare finds, Roosevelt dimes have more to offer than you might expect. Stick around as we reveal the most valuable and sought-after coins in this iconic series. You won't believe how much some of these dimes are actually worth. In 1976, a momentous year in American history, the United States of America celebrated a remarkable milestone, the 200th anniversary of its independence. From coast to coast, the nation was filled with patriotism and excitement, marked by parades, celebrations, and, of course, the release of special commemorative items. Among these items was something that would go on to capture the interest of collectors and numismatists alike, the 1976 Roosevelt one dime. That it's easy to overlook a coin like the Roosevelt dime. After all, it's just a small, seemingly unassuming coin that you might pass by every day without giving it much thought. Yet, hidden beneath its tiny, unremarkable surface is a coin that carries with it a deep history, cultural significance, and a value that has far outstripped its original face value. But what makes the 1976 Roosevelt one dime so unique, and why has it become so valuable in today's coin market? That's what we're about to uncover. To begin, let's take a step back in time to the origins of the Roosevelt dime. The story of the dime actually goes back to the early 20th century, during the presidency of Franklin D. Roosevelt. In 1945, after Roosevelt's death, the U.S. Treasury Department decided to honor him by redesigning the dime, the 10-cent piece, to feature his likeness. Roosevelt had been president for over 12 years, and he had led the country through the Great Depression and World War II. His passing left a significant void, and this redesign was meant as a tribute to his legacy. The design of the Roosevelt dime, created by renowned sculptor John R. Sinnock, was introduced in 1946. The obverse side of the coin features a profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, his face adorned with distinguished features that had come to symbolize strength and resilience. The reverse side features a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbolizing unity, peace, and strength, three ideals that defined Roosevelt's leadership. For nearly 30 years, this design remained unchanged, until the year 1976, a year of great historical importance in the United States. That year, the U.S. Mint decided to strike special commemorative coins to celebrate the nation's bicentennial, marking 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. While the larger denominations, like the quarter and half dollar, received redesigned reverse sides to commemorate the occasion, the dime, as we know, kept its original design. However, there was a unique twist to the 1976 Roosevelt dime that sets it apart from the rest of the series, a subtle but important feature that has become the key to its value. At first glance, you might think the 1976 Roosevelt dime looks just like any other dime that came before it. And for the most part, it does. However, there's a subtle difference on the reverse side of the coin, specifically the positioning of the mint mark. The mint mark is a small letter stamped onto each coin, indicating where it was produced. In 1976, a small number of dimes were produced with a special mint mark, a feature that was different from what collectors were used to seeing. This small change on the 1976 Roosevelt dime would go largely unnoticed at first, but soon, coin collectors began to take notice of the subtle anomaly. What made this particular minting significant was the fact that the 1976 Roosevelt dime was released into circulation with a mint mark that was in an unusual location, on the reverse, just beneath the olive branch. This placement was not typical, as the mint mark had always been found to the right of the torch on the reverse side of the coin. The change was initially thought to be a simple error, perhaps a misplacement during the minting process. The public, of course, didn't know the significance of this mistake. Most people simply went about their business, spending the dimes in the usual fashion. But as coin collectors began to study the dimes in circulation more carefully, they realized that the mint mark had been placed in a different spot on a small number of 1,976 dimes. This seemingly insignificant change became a key point of interest for those who had a keen eye for detail. In the years following the release of the 1976 Roosevelt dime, numismatists and collectors began to gather more information about the dimes with the misplaced mint marks. It became clear that this error, which was initially believed to be a simple mistake, had turned into something much more valuable. The 1976 Roosevelt dime with the misplaced mint mark became a coveted item in the world of coin collecting, and soon, these rare specimens were being sought after by collectors from all over the country. So, what makes this particular error so valuable? Well, the rarity of the coin is certainly one of the primary factors. The number of dimes with the mispositioned mint mark is extremely limited, making them rare finds for collectors. As with many rare coins, scarcity is a key driver of value. But there are other factors at play as well. The 1976 Roosevelt dime, being a part of the bicentennial celebrations, is tied to a key moment in American history. The coin carries with it the weight of the country's 200-year anniversary, a time of great national pride. The bicentennial theme, which was incorporated into various coins and medals released in that year, adds an additional layer of significance to the 1976 Roosevelt dime. For collectors, owning a piece of history that celebrates the United States' independence is a powerful motivator. In addition to the historical importance, there is the matter of the coin's quality. The 1976 Roosevelt dime with the misplaced mint mark is often in excellent condition. Coins that have been preserved in mint state, meaning they have little to no wear and tear, are highly desirable among collectors. When you combine the rarity of the coin with its excellent quality, it's no surprise that the value of this particular dime has skyrocketed over the years, but, perhaps the most compelling reason for the coin's immense value lies in its status within the collecting community. When you have a coin that is both rare and historically significant, combined with a mistake that adds intrigue and excitement, you create the perfect storm for high demand. Collectors are always on the lookout for those unique pieces that tell a story, that stand out from the rest of the pack, and that hold the potential for a significant return on investment. So, what is the current value of the 1976 Roosevelt dime with the misplaced mint mark? It may surprise you to learn that, in the world of rare coins, this little dime is worth far more than its original 10-cent value. In fact, some of the best preserved specimens of the 1976 Roosevelt dime with the misplaced mint mark have been known to sell for as much as $117,000. That's right, this seemingly humble coin, which most people would simply pass by, can now fetch a price that would make any collector's heart race. Of course, the value of any coin can vary based on its condition, provenance, and the market at the time of sale. But even in lower grades, the 1976 Roosevelt dime with the misplaced mint mark can still command prices well above its face value. For collectors, this coin is a perfect example of how a small detail, a twist of fate, or a simple mistake can turn an ordinary item into something extraordinary. So, the next time you're holding a dime in your hand, take a moment to consider the history and the potential value behind it. You never know, you might be holding on to a small piece of history worth far more than you could have ever imagined. The 1996 one-dime coin might seem like just another dime to most people, but in the world of coin collecting, it's far from ordinary. At first glance, it looks like a simple 10-cent piece, yet when you take a closer look, you'll realize there's much more to this coin than meets the eye. It holds within it a story of history, art, and even a bit of good fortune. For those who know where to look, the 1996 dime can be a goldmine, a rare and valuable treasure that may surprise you. To fully understand why the 1996 dime is so special, let's take a trip back to the year it was minted. 1996 was a time of change for the United States and the world. Bill Clinton was in his first term as president, the internet was rapidly expanding, and the world was on the cusp of entering a new millennium. But amidst all this, the U.S. Mint continued its task of producing coins for everyday transactions. The 1996 dime, like its predecessors, was created to be a piece of currency that represented the country's values. The dime, as we know it, has a long history. It was first introduced in 1796, making it one of the oldest coins in the United States. Over the years, the dime has undergone many design changes, reflecting the political and cultural climate of the times. But one thing has remained constant: the dime's role as a symbol of American ideals, from liberty to strength to peace. By 1996, the design of the dime had settled into what we see today. The obverse side of the coin features a portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt's image has been on the dime since 1946, in tribute to his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The reverse side of the coin, designed by John R. Sinnock, includes a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. Together, these elements make the dime one of the most enduring symbols of American values, but, as with any piece of history, the 1996 dime has its own unique characteristics that make it stand out. While the design remained the same as previous years, the minting process for that year would lead to some important variations that collectors have since taken great interest in. In 1996, dimes were minted in two primary locations, Philadelphia and Denver. As has been the case for years, coins minted in Philadelphia didn't feature a mint mark, while those minted in Denver bore the D mint mark. However, there was an issue with the 1996 dimes from Denver. Some of these coins were struck without the expected D mint mark. This rare error, called the no mint mark variation, has become one of the most sought-after features in the world of coin collecting. You might be wondering, why does the mint mark matter? Well, mint marks are essential for identifying where a coin was struck. Every U.S. coin has a mint mark, and it serves as a tool for tracking the production of coins across the country. Dimes produced in Denver are usually marked with a D, while those produced in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. But with the 1996 dimes, a few coins were struck at the Denver Mint but didn't have the mint mark. This was an error in the production process, and as you might imagine, such mistakes in the world of coinage are not only fascinating, they're incredibly valuable. The no mint mark 1996 dimes are the rarest of the rare, and they've become highly coveted by collectors. In the world of numismatics, these error coins are highly prized because they represent something unexpected. When you're talking about a coin that was minted in mass quantities, finding one with an error is like finding a needle in a haystack. But it's not just the error that makes the 1996 one-dime coin valuable. The overall condition of the coin plays an enormous role in determining its worth. As with all collectibles, coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition are worth significantly more than those that show signs of wear. Professional coin graders assess coins based on their quality, using a scale that ranges from good to mint state. A coin that is graded as mint state or proof will naturally be worth much more than one that has been heavily circulated and shows signs of damage. It's important to understand that most of the 1996 dimes in circulation today are just regular dimes, worth only 10 cents. However, the 1996 dimes that feature the no mint mark error and are in near perfect condition can be incredibly valuable. This rarity, combined with the coin's historical significance, has made the 1996 dime a highly desirable find for collectors all over the world. Now, if you're wondering just how valuable these coins can be, prepare yourself for a surprising revelation. A 1996 one-dime coin, especially one with the no mint mark error and in pristine condition, has been known to fetch as much as $76,000 at auction. Why? But remember, not every 1996 dime will fetch that kind of money. It's the combination of rarity, condition, and the error that makes certain coins so valuable. For the average collector, finding a 1996 dime with the no mint mark error in pristine condition is a rare occurrence, but for those who do find it, the potential reward can be immense. So, next time you find yourself with a handful of dimes, take a closer look at them. You never know, one of those tiny 10-cent coins might just be a hidden treasure, worth far more than you ever imagined. After all, in the world of coin collecting, even the smallest mistakes can lead to the greatest rewards, and who knows? That simple 1996 dime you thought was just pocket change might very well be the key to an incredible discovery and a small fortune. The lesson here is clear: sometimes, it's the seemingly insignificant things in life that turn out to be the most valuable. The 2004 Roosevelt one-dime coin may seem like just another dime you might come across while paying for your coffee or counting change, but there's a deeper story hidden in this seemingly humble coin. While many of us may glance at these coins without giving them much thought, for collectors, especially those who specialize in error coins, the 2004 Roosevelt dime holds significant value, and not just because it's a part of U.S. currency history. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, designed by John R. Sinnock to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt following his death. Its design features Roosevelt's profile on the obverse and a reverse that showcases a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. This design has remained remarkably consistent through the decades, making the Roosevelt dime one of the most recognizable coins in the history of American currency. However, not all dimes are created equal, and while the 2004 Roosevelt dime may appear to be just another year in the long-running series, this coin is a bit different. In 2004, the U.S. Mint was in the process of fine-tuning its coinage production techniques, using more modern equipment and introducing new methods to increase efficiency and security in minting. Unfortunately, as with any mass production process, mistakes happen. In the case of the 2004 Roosevelt dime, that mistake came in the form of a die misalignment. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is a die misalignment, and why does it matter? Simply put, a die misalignment happens when the dies used to stamp the design onto the blank metal planchets, the metal discs that are turned into coins, are not properly aligned. The dies are the engraved stamps that carry the design of the coin, and when they shift or become slightly misaligned during production, the result is a coin with a shifted or off-center design. While this may seem like a minor flaw for collectors, this misalignment is a highly sought-after feature. The misalignment in these 2004 Roosevelt dimes wasn't particularly widespread, meaning only a small number of them were struck with this error. The misalignment error was subtle enough to make the coin stand out to the trained eye, but not so obvious that the general public would have noticed. Because of the rarity of these misaligned dimes, they've become highly prized by collectors who specialize in error coins, which are often more valuable than standard coins due to their rarity and historical significance. This particular error from 2004 offers a glimpse into the minting process itself, something that many collectors find fascinating. The imperfection in the die alignment is a momentary flaw in the manufacturing process, and it's something that could have easily been overlooked by those who were simply trying to produce as many coins as possible. But for those with a deep appreciation for coin collecting, this error represents a unique story, one of human error, mass production, and the beauty of an imperfect collectible. What also makes this coin special is that it reflects a time of change within the US Mint. By the 2000s, the Mint was introducing new technologies and refining its production methods, all aimed at making coins harder to counterfeit and more efficient to produce. However, this particular error from 2004 is a reminder that, even with the latest technology, things can occasionally go wrong, and when they do, collectors take notice. The rarity of these misaligned 2004 dimes has contributed to their value, but another key factor is their condition. As with any collectible, a coin's condition plays a huge role in its price. Coins that have been in circulation for a while, exposed to wear and tear, are worth far less than those that have been carefully preserved. This is especially true for error coins, where the condition of the coin can significantly impact its overall value. A 2004 Roosevelt dime with a noticeable die misalignment in excellent condition is much more valuable than one that has been damaged or worn over time. The allure of error coins, like the 2004 Roosevelt dime, lies in their uniqueness. These coins were never intended to be created in the way they turned out, and that makes them rare. Collectors seek out these unusual specimens because they represent moments in time when the production process went slightly awry. Each error coin has its own story to tell, and that's part of what makes them so captivating. For a collector, owning an error coin is like owning a small piece of history, something that was never supposed to be, but exists nonetheless. And now, you're probably wondering just how much a 2004 Roosevelt dime with a die misalignment could be worth. After all, the coin was originally worth only 10 cents when it was minted. While the price can vary based on factors like the degree of the misalignment and the coin's condition, some of the more well-preserved examples of this rare error coin have sold for impressive amounts at auction. Coins with the most significant die misalignment and those that are in mint condition have fetched as much as $26,000 in recent years. That's right, this dime, originally worth just a tenth of a dollar, has now become a highly sought-after item in the world of coin collecting, all due to a minor production flaw. The value of error coins like the 2004 Roosevelt dime continues to rise as more collectors become aware of these hidden gems. The combination of rarity, historical context, and the allure of imperfection makes these error coins truly special. In the world of numismatics, the 2004 Roosevelt dime serves as a perfect example of how something seemingly ordinary can become extraordinary. It's a testament to the unpredictable nature of coin production and the fascinating world of error coins. So, next time you're holding a 2004 Roosevelt dime in your hand, take a closer look. You just might be holding onto a piece of numismatic history that could be worth far more than its face value.